I'm Mike.
I'm Kat.
I'm Jay.
And today we're talking about
Cheat codes.
cheat codes. And I got the game genie right here. Remember this from back in the day when we were kids?
Put the game on here, and what's unique about this is it came with a code book, and you had to enter the codes in to actually get the codes, but it gave you the codes. It wouldn't just unlock any code that was put into
You had to write it down.
Yeah, you had to write it down, do research. Sometimes you wouldn't have the codes to a certain game, and you'd have to go to your friend, and maybe he found them in a book. They'd come in like the end of Nintendo Power, you would see codes in there, and that was always the best part about magazines, because they give you codes, they would give you like hints, maps, everything.
You could just check it on Google.
Yeah, except for the fact, well, you can now, but when
back then
when you didn't have the internet.
I had Google.
What's the most famous code? Do you know it? Let's see if these guys know
Up, down, left, right, up, down.
No,
It's on the shirt.
You mean Punch Out?
it. No, okay, so anyways, they don't know the famous code from Contra, the Konami code.
Why is it the most famous? Because it's the longest?
No, just because it's the most famous code.
It's on shirts and
Says
stuff.
who?
Yeah.
Says everybody.
Everyone's
Now,
stupid.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, or B, A, B, A, select, start.
The point of the debate is it right?
To use
or is
codes?
it like, what?
Okay, I think that if you're playing
not school.
by yourself, you
Yeah.
can 100% use codes. That's fine. Back in the day when there wasn't online, when you were just playing on your own console, I think it's fine to use cheats. Maybe you've played the game already and you want to play it again, you want it to be easier this time. Or maybe you suck and you're just not very good at video games, so you want to use the codes so you have unlimited ammo. I got unlimited ammo in Tomb Raider 2 when I played it on my PC way back in the day.
Oh.
However, if you're playing online, I think that it is bullshit. You are a cheating pansy if you're using codes. It just means you don't have skills. If you're
that's hacks.
online
You
playing
can't,
with
yeah,
a
you
bunch of people-
can't. It's like glitches now.
We're talking about
Can
two
I?
different generations, yeah.
And that's another thing. I haven't used codes since Sega Genesis. It's a thing of a past for me.
Well, what's unique about codes back then was, I think you played a game to achieve a high score and beat the game, obviously, but it was also about how far you can get in certain games, and if they were really difficult, you would have to get a code, and the reason you would have to get a code and play that game is because you couldn't really afford that many games. Well, this is why this came out. It basically enhanced the game so you could cheat in it. Another reason that codes were very popular back then.
Games were harder.
Well, games were extremely hard, but also, guess what? Nintendo made a lot of money off of codes because there was a phone number you could call into and actually pay money to get codes, or they would tell you, hey, this is the code to enter to beat this level. Codes were so cool back then. I can beat the game without a code, or hey, I used a code. If you could beat this game without a code, you were almost epic. You were like, holy crap.
They called you the Colangelo.
David Colangelo, not the young sons with mutated bodies and ribs that came out of the wrong parts of their skins.
And their best friends, always weirder. What was the last, was there a game that we played recently that had codes?
Well, obviously Grand Theft Auto 4.
Right, but if you play on PC, it'd be more fun, I think, just to get mods, to download mods.
Well, that's totally different than code.
But that's what my point. I think it's replacing codes. That's what the PC's doing. They got these cool mods that you can add onto your game.
Yeah.
And we've seen it in Skyrim recently.
Okay, well
and Minecraft, and those mods, instead of entering codes, you got these mods that you download that users, the people watching, create. So that's
I'm talking about codes, but
that's what's replaced codes.
Oh,
because
not really. There's
yeah.
codes in every game still. Every game has a certain code. Let's say Call of Duty had a famous code at the beginning of Black Ops that people had to break.
Well, do you guys still use codes? Is anyone using codes out there or using mods? Sometimes there is no codes. Like, I don't remember the last time I looked up for a code. What I do look at is walkthroughs.
Yeah.
If I'm having trouble, I don't look for a code.
I think that in certain games, codes are awesome, and some games, codes are not so good to use. Like, there's no codes in Dark Souls. Obviously, because that game's...
imagine there was a code, just brought you back to your body instantly, you just respawn.
There's still codes in all sorts of games.
But I think games that are hard now, you don't necessarily need codes anymore because of online and there's so many walkthroughs.
Your view on codes is you don't use codes?
Yeah, they're a thing of the past.
Yeah.
I don't need codes anymore. Back in the day, it made more sense. Now it doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll talk to someone or I'll look it up online. Codes are just not something that I'd be using anymore.
And for me, for Grand Theft Auto 5, I think codes are definitely not dead because after you've beaten that game, there's still certain things, unless you've got 100% on that game, that you're not going to experience unless you use a code. Something that is very famous with Grand Theft Auto. And without those codes, it'd be very difficult to achieve that sort of gameplay in that game unless you were some sort of wizard who can go around and collect every single weapon and have fun. Codes should exist in games still because, again, without the codes, it wouldn't be as fun. Obviously, games like Street Fighter or like Dark Souls should not have codes because those are games based in the gameplay. Same as like in Super Mario, the classic codes to get to the end of the game, those are some of the most famous codes. To be able to use the whistle to get to the end, those are essentially codes to me.
We have a lot more options now, because now when you get sick of a game, you can use the codes, or you can just, DLC with like new episodes, new chapters, new levels. And on the PC side of thing, of course, mods.
But Battlefield 3, you can buy all of the guns, like a package. It goes all the way back to NES. You could call in and get a code. So it's almost the same thing. Do you think certain things that are like unlockables, like would you be pissed if Grand Theft Auto 5 came out and to unlock all the weapons you'd have to pay like $3? Imagine they did that.
They're doing that in China right now with a Call of Duty game. It's free for everyone, but to upgrade your gun, you have to pay for certain things, and you have to pay for perks. It's like the new code, and like you were saying, you pay for the code, you pay for the gun. And now it's like transformed into something else, where it's not like the traditional like A, B, up, down, A, B, up, down.
I definitely miss codes.
You miss
Definitely miss the code. So fun at the start screen, being able to figure the code out.
They should have a game called the Code Game.
They do.
Just
do Deus Ex.
Just put codes in.
You put the codes.
Well,
Deus Ex, you put codes.
I didn't ask for that. Nope. No. We got 5 in there.
Cat, want a nap?
Cat, you want to sleep?
3 kilobytes.